Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, here surrounded by a bunch of boxes. Here joined, of course, by producer Josh Northcutt and co-host Brandon Bull Davis. Quick disclaimer, we are having some connection issues, so some of us may freeze, may lag. Not sure as Josh coughs, but he's still froze. Perfectly timed freeze, Josh. Perfectly timed. I don't know how you did that, but some connection issues there. Hopefully that'll fix itself today or by next episode. But we have a lot to talk about, so I don't want to waste a bunch of time. We had a really great All-Star race, actually. I remember Friday being like super negative about all of it, and was pleasantly surprised by it. I have maybe a little insight onto why.
Colton, if you're talking, we're not picking any of it up. That's why me and Bull
definitely
are
the best
dying.
All-Star race in years, if you ask me. And Joey Logano, Josh have both frozen on my screen. We love the internet. So Bull, I know you watched all the races. You have some stuff you want to say about Priest getting screwed over and whatnot. So I will go ahead and let you take it away and fill us in on what happened this weekend.
Yeah. So starting out the open race, a little bit of controversy in that towards the end of the race, during the choose, Priest was in second. They were coming to the choose, and he drove over the choose arrow. At the time, so they penalized him, put him to the back of the field, and at the time, even I thought, yeah, it's a penalty. The NASCAR's following the rules. Until after the fact, they interviewed Priest, and he said, I couldn't even see it. And then he even took a picture of it. And I'll retweet the picture. Maybe we can even put it in here.
Yeah, I should be able to
afterwards.
get that in there.
You can't even see it. And then NASCAR goes as far as to repaint the choose arrow in between the open and the All-Star race because they couldn't even see it. So I mean, personally, he shouldn't have been penalized. It is the rule. If you drive over it, you have to go the rear. But if you can't even see it, that's a big issue. But moving on to the actual All-Star race, started out with Brad Keselowski on the pole in a 23-lap battle with him and Joey Logano battling for the lead. Finally, Brad was able to pull away. And lap 57, Suarez blows a right front tire and slammed the wall, bringing out the first caution. Everybody ended up pitting. This is where everybody kind of take different strategies. You got some guys on 2 tires, some guys on 4. Brad continues to lead for about 10, 15 laps before Byron was able to pass him and lead for about 10 laps as well. Then Logano passed Byron to take the lead. And then we get to lap 100 for the pre-planned All-Star break caution. So then after that caution, Bell got the lead, and he led for about 15 laps before Cindric and Ross wrecked, which brought out another caution. And this was kind of the pivotal point in the race, I think. Bell chose the inside on the restart. Everybody else who had been in first had chose the outside. And on that restart, he chose the inside. Logano chose the outside. And after about 2 laps, they were kind of side by side. But then after about 2 laps, Logano was able to clear him. Which brings us to about lap 176. Brad, who had dropped like a rock after losing the lead, he had been out front all weekend. He pretty much led his whole heat race. Started leading the first like 57 laps of the open race, and once he got out of clean air, his car was not the same. And he got loose, hit the wall, brought out a caution. So everybody pit again. So we got different strategies here as well. Um, Larson tried to take 2 tires again, and he led for about 5 laps before Logano was able to clear him. Logano led till we got to lap 216 for the promoter's caution, where Logano, Blaney, Ross, Hocevar, and Burton all stayed out. Everybody else pretty much took 2 tires. Bell lined up fifth third on the inside. And about 1 lap after the restart, Blaney got sideways, lost control, dropped like a rock. Bell was able to clear a few guys. In about 5 laps, then got to Ross got to Logano at about lap 228. And then from lap 228 to lap 241, Bell and Logano went back and forth. Bell kept trying to pass him, tried high, tried low, and lap 241 was finally able to get him. And Ross sitting there in third, waiting on his chance. It was pretty much a 3-way battle for the lead, basically the last 25 laps of the race. But anyway, Bell was finally able to clear him and led the last 9 laps of the race to get the victory.
Yeah. That was a lot that happened, and Bell, I gotta say, he's becoming one of my favorite drivers in the sport right now. I mean, his reaction, he always used to kind of be the more monotone, not as energetic guy, but the more he's winning, the more comfortable he is with his role. Uh, he was ecstatic. Like, how about that, North Wilkesboro? Woo! I'm gonna give he gave a much better woo than that, but got the crowd going. What a showman! And I just loved that reaction from him. But not as much as I love the reaction from Joey Logano. And let me get out my phone here, because Chinry took the liberty of compiling a lot of examples of Joey Logano just being how Joey Logano's statements were hypocritical. Now, first of all, he briefly mentioned, and I think he said it pretty quickly because he knew it was bullshit. He said if he had a chance to get to the 20 car, he would have dumped him for what he did. You mentioned Bell kept on trying and trying. Well, the reason he couldn't get by is because Logano kept on driving like he just had every single lane. He would run him into the wall if he tried on the outside. He'd shove him to the inside and threaten to turn him. And Bell's been one of the guys trying to keep this sport clean, and he's been doing a good job, and he did everything he could. And it reminds me kind of some battles with MTJ back in the day. But let me pull up this list here. I saved everything he said. So first of all, and then this big gripe that him and Marcus Smith don't see eye to eye about is the gimmicks. The gimmicks. Let's take a look at times in Joey Logano's career. Go ahead.
Before you go on to the gimmicks, so to speak, as Logano called it, if you were watching the race, we were getting a yellow flag there anyway. Larson slammed the wall. There was a natural yellow. Either way, that was getting ready to be a yellow flag from Larson slamming the wall. So whether you want to call it a natural yellow or a promoter's caution, there was a flag there anyway.
That makes it even better, man. That makes it even better. That's just so Joey. So, well, first of all, we would call the playoffs a gimmick, right? And we would be considered a gimmick where the best driver throughout the season does not necessarily see. That's what Joey Logano was complaining about. He was the best driver throughout that race. I can't argue against that, and he didn't get the win. But that's happened 3 times in his career when he won a championship. He was the worst champion last year. So the gimmicks, all 3 of those championships. But guess what? That's not even the only gimmick he's benefited from. If we go back to, I believe, 2015 or 2014, he won Talladega on a caution light. Now, we all know the rule now is you have to get a lap in before that caution light matters. But in the one time in NASCAR history that it ever happened to be on just a regular restart, for context, it was 2 laps to go, overtime finish at Talladega. Him and Dale Jr. were side by side, and I think Harvick was the one that like blew an engine or something. There was also some gimmicks over there, but it caused a big doo-doo wreck right at the start-finish line at Talladega. And instead of calling the caution immediately, they waited until Joey Logano got in front of Dale Jr., then threw the yellow flag, and Logano won, advancing to the next round. Dale Jr. was unable to advance. But there's a gimmick right there that he went from. But now let's go back to the point of him and Christopher Bell and their incident, because he didn't like how he was raced by Bell. If he pulls that stuff, well, let's take a look at some incidences throughout Joey Logano's career where he didn't really race people too fairly. Also, I love one of these has a quote of him saying he loves the NASCAR Cup Series championship, or the playoffs, I mean, which is a gimmick, and that which he said he did not like from Marcus Smith. We can go back to That's Just Short Track Racing, where he got wronged, but he did the same exact thing to Martin Truex Jr. Back in, I believe that was 2018, is the last year of Furniture Row, whichever year that was, where he walled him, doored him, did not give him a chance to win the race. We can go to Joey Logano and Ryan Newman's heated exchange back in the mid-2010s. We can go back to Joey Logano recklessly driving down pit road and endangering a child last year at Richmond. We can go back to Kyle Busch and Joey Logano tangling at Las Vegas. We can go back to Joey Logano punting William Byron at Darlington a couple of years back. We can go back to Joey Logano spinning Matt Kenseth at Kansas. That's a popular one. Thank God Kenseth has the balls to say something to him for that. I guess he didn't say anything to him, but he spoke his words on the track. We can also go to the quote in which he said he likes winning more than racing. That kind of makes sense with what he said there. He also got frustrated with Chastain for not letting him buy in a race a year or 2 ago, racing the exact same way that he did Bell here at North Wilkesboro. Oh, and Alex Bowman got blamed for him clearly, Joey Logano clearly right hooking him at Talladega back in 2018. Oh, wait, let's go back to the gimmicks here with Alex Bowman, because guess what? Bull, you mentioned it when we first started talking about this. Bowman had, for whatever reason, even though he was safely into the next round of the playoffs, had an illegal weight adjustment, which uneliminated Joey Logano from the round of 8 last year, and got him in the round of 8, which got him to his championship. So if not for Hendrick apparently not wanting Bowman in the round of 8, Logano wouldn't even be in the round of 8, let alone win the championship in the Final Four. So these are just the ones we could find. And the last but not least of Logano just being a complete hypocrite on the track, 2016 championship Homestead. No, he did not win the championship, but he robbed somebody else of a championship. I'm not even going to say it. I have rest my peace. I would love to just get all of these clips, put it together, and make a compilation just for proof. I just haven't had enough time yet. Yeah. Fuck Joey Logano. Enough said. We're never getting a Penske guy on the pod. Sorry, guys. Fuck Joey Logano.
I think you summed that up pretty well.
Anything to add? Yes, Josh?
Joey Logano is my new favorite driver.
I knew. How did I 100% know Josh was going to say that? Well, now that we got that out of the way, do we want to talk about Fox going out with a bang with some of their broadcast moves? I know Bull has something to say there.
Yeah, I won't let Josh talk before I go on my rant.
Yeah, Josh is on this podcast, and then the first thing he said was Joey Logano is his favorite driver. So shout out Josh for that. Too bad he'll never be on the show now that I went on that rant.
Oh, I'll get him. Dude,
And I
I've been
have that
over
list
wonders.
saved, so that every time Joe Logano pulls this shit, I will absolutely be bringing up that same exact list. But yes, Josh, speak away.
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't watch one lap.
You had your
One,
graduation party.
yeah, I had my graduation party, and then two, I really don't ever watch the All-Star race. It isn't entertaining to me because it's a race that doesn't matter. My biggest complaint though with the All-Star race just deals with personal preference. Is I'm in a one and done contest where you pick a driver every week, and they decided to make the All-Star race count, and half the field took Christopher Bell and got an extra 40 points. I didn't make a pick because I didn't care, and I've been busy doing other things. That's my only thoughts on the race is if you do one and dones, it shouldn't be worth a full amount of points, and you shouldn't get all that. I went from second down to like 8th or 9th, so I'm pissed about that, selfishly. But it sounds like I missed a good everything I read, everything I saw. Sounds like I missed maybe the best short track race of the year.
Absolutely.
It was, yes.
Yeah, no, and we can talk about Fox, but I will say, am I the only one that noticed this was a night race, and the race only got better as the night came out?
I was going to bring that up. It's something we talked about last week. We talked about it last week. The races at night are so much better. Tires mattered yesterday. The guys that took 2 tires, it did not help. The only time that 2 tires helped was on that final restart when you had 4 guys stay out that didn't take tires at all, and Bell was able to pass Logano. Other than that, 2 tires did not help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the other thing is you could make the argument you really only had that good battle for the lead because of the mismatch on tires. They're on the same tires. Bell might have had a faster car, but he might not have had as much ability to get by him. So, I mean, that's another point that is a fair point.
But to that point, Colton, there was 19 lead changes.
Yes.
19 lead changes yesterday in a 250 lap race. When have we seen 19 lead changes at a short track in the next gen era?
Long, like the Bristol race being the only anomaly, like last year. I think that one had a lot just because of the tire fall off.
And that was because we looked like a circus going around there with tires.
Hey, it was an entertaining circus, though. I will take that circus over Bristol this year any day of the week.
It was entertaining, but it looked like a circus. We couldn't even control with tires.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was actually a race.
Mm-hmm. Multi-lane driving. That's what we need. That's what we haven't really had much of so far this year. So we need to figure out how to get that back going at more tracks than not. But we were going to mention Fox. So Bull, I'll let you mention their little blunder or two they had just to wrap up the good old season that was Fox 2025.
So Fox went out with a bang with their coverage. I'm going to mention two incidents that really just drove me nuts. Doing the pre-grid walk, walks up to Chase Elliott, doing an interview, and literally just looks at Chase Elliott and says, "My pants are falling down." Like, we are on a national televised pre-race show, and that is the interview. Just look at Elliott and say, "My pants are falling down." I mean, what kind of professional organization is that?
Not one at all.
And then the big one that got me, and I was yelling at my TV at 9:45 at night. We have 15 laps left in the race, a 3-way battle for the lead, and Fox goes side by side to show the pod's power move of the race with a 3-way battle for the lead for the win with 15 laps left. Are you not watching the same race that I am? Is this not the power move of the race? Is this not the power move of the race? If Bell passes him, I mean, come on. Like, watch the race. Pay attention to what is going on. It's ridiculous. I cannot wait till next week when we get Amazon back The coverage looks better. The broadcasters are better.
They take the sport serious.
Already the previews that we've seen from the Amazon coverage look 10 times better than Fox has ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Junior said on his podcast they've been working on it for 2 months already, just practicing and getting the broadcast down.
Fox would never.
Fox looks like they roll out of bed and come in, don't prepare at all.
Fox was like a student-ran production, and I think our student-ran production that I've worked on is a lot better than what I see on Fox from time to time. They just see it as a joke. It's not a serious event. It's a ha-ha, hee-hee, hoo-hoo, just shindig, and they don't really care about making the sport professional at all. And even Mike Joy, who's talked about it, like isn't really just covering the sport with the same care that they used to. I'm so ready for them to be gone. I'm so ready. And we have to wait till 2031.
Yeah, we're stuck with them for the next 7 years because they just signed the new TV deal.
But,
but if Amazon sees numbers that they like, I could see Amazon buying out Fox.
This is true. They're giving it Amazon for free. I'm playing with the wrench. I just realized I'm giving Amazon, or they're giving out Amazon for free for the duration of the NASCAR season that they have it. I mean, not the season, but so like those 5 races, no excuses from NASCAR fans. You can get a free account to watch those 5 races.
I mean, this is a topic, a broader topic to discuss. But why do we have 4 networks covering the sport? I mean, that needs to change as well. I mean, we need to have 1, maybe 2 covering it, but there should be no reason that you should have to have 4 different networks to cover the sport. I know it's about money, but it's...
I was going to say, I kind of have something I'd like to add to that as well, but I think Josh probably has a more cynical answer, so I'll let him go.
CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN,
Amazon
NFL
Prime,
Network, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Bullets, all major sports.
But
it's the way some 2 people who are going into this industry. It's just the way it's going to be. It's only going to get worse from here. Everything's going to go streaming, let alone have to worry about having cable companies. No, everything is going streaming.
Peacock.
But to counter that, on NFL, how many games is there a week? You have to have that many channels. On NASCAR, there's 1 race a weekend.
That is a good point. The point I was going to make was I feel like, well, yes, that is a confusing thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I see it as, okay, there are different brands interested in covering the sport, and I like that. I like that there's interest. It's kind of like, that's why I want another manufacturer or 2 to join, because that means the sport's good. There's a positive reason for people to want to invest in this sport, whether it be Nissan or Honda. And I think that's the same way I view Prime and TNT. And I think the reason we have 4 covering right now is they want to test the streaming. They want to see what it's like. Just like you have those random Peacock games. Oh, I hate that word. But you have the Amazon Prime, the Thursday night football games as well. They just want to test it out, and then they'll likely move it. I feel like NBC seems like we'll see without Dale Jr. and all of them and what it looks like. But I feel like NBC is pretty motivated to make a good broadcast. But I could see Prime and TNT knocking them out. We go back to TNT Summers, Prime to start the year, and then NBC for like the playoffs and a little bit before that. I'm fine with that, a little 3 broadcast coverage. I'm also fine if we can just go to 2. But I don't see it as inherently a bad thing having 4 different networks, at least from the side of that means there's still interest in this sport. They still see a positive reason to pick up this sport for their programming. And I would hope that's why I want there to be more manufacturers, because that means the sport's doing something good and showing them that there is value in being a part of the NASCAR world.
You just a little side nugget. You mentioned new manufacturers. Trackhouse to Dodge in 2 years. Remember, I told you that.
Okay, I want it, man. I've been saying that for a couple of years. I think that's the only way they're gonna be the team we really thought they were going to be when it all started. I think they don't need ECR engines. That's for damn sure. I mean, they're qualifying like 35th on ECR engines, so
It won't be next year, but the year after.
I'm rooting for it. Let's see it. Let's get it. Connor Zilich is the flagship driver, or well, should I say it's the flagship driver with Connor Zilich. I personally think it should downsize it 2, but they'll probably keep it 3. So probably not SVG, but maybe I don't know who that third driver will be. We'll see. Love that prediction though. Josh, do you want to take over Fly the Flag?
Sure,
it's been a while.
I can, sir.
It's been a while since you've given the Fly the Flag. So
yeah. So first one, Bull North Wilkesboro is the best short track on the schedule.
Green flag. If we do not have a 400-mile race here next year, NASCAR needs investigated. If there's not a points race, 400-mile points race, NASCAR needs investigated.
I think purely on attendance alone, I agree with that sentiment. As far as it being the best short track on the schedule, I'm throwing the yellow because it was the best short track we have seen yet this year. Phoenix was a good race, though. Phoenix is up there with it. However, I think it was very circumstantial. It was very odd that Kevin Harvick continually said throughout the broadcast, we need to see this on Sunday afternoon. We need to see this on Sunday afternoon. He said it at least 4 times, and I only watched half the race. No, we don't. We just watched it at night. It was awesome. And I think that was circumstantial, that it was night race, and it was the different tire strategies. I think if you go to a 400-mile race with stages where you have already a set strategy, as we do every single week, we've watched it for the past 10 years. It's not 10 years yet, but it's getting there. And I think it would just become another short track race on the schedule when it starts at 3:30 and we go to normal racing. That being said, I still think it should be on the schedule, and I hope I'm wrong.
I can't really decide, so I'll throw whatever the neutral color flag is. Obviously, like I said, I didn't see it. Everything says it was, but I literally did not see one lap. Colton, Christopher Bell is going to be Larson's biggest competition in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think he's been his best in the first half, and I think it's going to continue that way. I think I'm gonna throw the green on that. I love the passion, the fire I saw out of him after that win. I think he wants to win every single race, and he thinks he can win every single race. And we usually get that Hendrick summer slump. So yeah.
Bolt.
I'm gonna go green flag again. He had a great beginning of the season. He won the All-Star race. Just like Colton said, the fire and the passion that he had. And then just one thing that I noticed watching the Netflix show, how beat up he was after the playoffs. He does not want that feeling again. I mean, obviously no driver does, but just that feeling and seeing that look in his eye, the look on his face after that, I think he is damned and determined this year, and he's got that motivation, that extra fire.
Yep.
For me, I'm throwing the yellow. I do think he's going to be one of the guys, but I don't think he's going to be the only one. I think that the guy we're not talking about, but we have talked about in the past, is going to be Ryan Blaney. I think Blaney's luck is going to absolutely turn around in the second half of the season. There's no way that first half is going to be as bad. And as a result, that means Blaney's in competition come Phoenix. And as a result of that, that means Blaney is big competition because it's Penske at Phoenix. And as long as he's not getting penalized at Indy, Penske car should be fine.
Nice. Love that.
But then the last one, I'll go first. The gimmick caution was a disservice to the All-Star race. Y'all see this? The color red? Yeah, it's red. It's an all-star race. Nobody cares. All it is out there. They're racing for money. It was a good race, again, from what I heard, but no one cares. I don't care if they decided to throw a caution every 5 laps. I don't care if they throw a caution every 10 laps. It's an all-star race. It doesn't matter. It's supposed to be fun. And it's not like this is deciding home field advantage, which was stupid in baseball, or it's basically we're not going to tackle each other like the Pro Bowl. No, it's an all-star race. Nobody cares. Thank you. Bull.
You know, you could have just pointed at Bull's shirt for the red, right?
It's actually funny. Bull's wearing red. Is he going to run into himself? Get it, yeah.
All right, Bull. What's your take?
the dad jokes. The color of my shirt matches the color of the flag. We were getting a caution anyway. Larson slammed the wall. We were getting a natural yellow, promoter's caution, whatever you want to call it. We were getting a yellow flag there anyway. I don't care what you want to call it. There was a caution coming. It didn't change the race at all.
Yeah. Mine matches this piece of tape sitting on my bed here. If you have to call something out. And yeah, it's also a red flag for me. That was just basically what Joey Logano thought, even though he knew months in advance that this was how it was going to be, and he made the decision to be on the other end of that gimmick caution. So sorry, bub, that was your decision. You have to live with it. I know you haven't had to live with much in your life. So you got your 3 championships. Just be happy. You'll silver spoon. Get somebody else talk. Overreactions.
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. Mine was pretty simple. It is that North Wilkesboro should be on the schedule. I think it's the 3rd year we've been here, or is it just the 2nd? 3rd, right?
2nd. I think it's 2nd.
Okay. Regardless, I think it's proved that it's got the sticking power. It's got the aura or whatever. It deserves to be on the schedule, and I personally believe it definitely should be a night race. Let's get a Sunday night primetime North Wilkesboro race, maybe more positioned in the summertime, but regardless, I'm happy with it, however. Anybody?
You want me to go, Bull, or you?
You go ahead, Josh.
All right, I think Bull paused, so I'm just hopefully I'm not talking over him. For me personally, the hot take isn't so much a hot take, but it's a local bias. If North Wilkesboro goes on to the actual race, I believe that Kentucky Speedway should replace and get the All-Star race, and maybe we should continue going around to these tracks that aren't on the schedule anymore and just giving them the All-Star race. Kind of like the NFL has done with not the Pro Bowl, but the NFL draft. You don't get the Super Bowl, but you know what? Here you go. Here's your award, and you get the NFL draft now.
Bull?
So my overreaction is Kyle Busch. NASCAR needs to penalize Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw. He did 4 or 5 different interviews this week, blatantly said during interviews that he was going to wreck somebody intentionally during the race this weekend. Did he do it? No, he did not, because drivers have no balls when they say they're going to do that. But he said it on Denny Hamlin's podcast, which NASCAR penalized Denny Hamlin last year, or was it 2 years ago, for something he said.
I think it's been 2 now.
So 2 years ago for the Ross Chastain incident,
Yes.
Bob Pockris asked him about it as well, and he told Bob Pockris he was going to wreck somebody. So, sticking with consistency in NASCAR, how they feel about wrecking intentionally, Kyle Busch needs penalized.
Wholeheartedly agree, and it goes back to, I remember a talking point we had for the first couple of weeks on this show. NASCAR needs to be consistent, and once again, they are not consistent. Is it maybe more so of are they really listening to what Kyle Busch has to say? Surely somebody is, but maybe they aren't. Maybe they aren't tuned in as much as we thought, but they knew there was something there with Denny Hamlin, wanting to wreck Ross Chastain. So that made it a little more obvious. Regardless, if Hamlin got penalized, Busch should also be penalized. That was also an awesome podcast, though, with those two. I love the part where they literally talked about the Logano we're not having a Logano baby.
And then Denny said, "I'm not having a Ross baby."
Yeah. Man, imagine if Denny's kid was like born on New Year's Day, just a 1-1. That would be rough. It'd be rough for old Denny, but thankfully he doesn't have to worry about that. But yeah, that was a great pod for sure. But I agree, Busch should definitely be penalized.
One thing that I just thought of, Colton and Josh, we talked about a couple weeks ago, how taking Easter Sunday off was an early off week. What if we took North Wilkesboro and made it like they do the fall Bristol race, made it a Thursday, Friday, Saturday show? Teams can still get home Saturday night, still be off on Easter Sunday. And then make the off weekend later on, make it a halfway point in the season.
Yeah, I think that makes 100% sense. It makes a little more than Easter Sunday to me.
I mean, because right now we're in a 28-week stretch, 28 weeks straight of racing. I mean, personally, I love it, but I know the teams, the travel. I mean, I know that's got to suck for them.
Yeah.
So make a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Make it a Saturday night race. Then you're off Easter Sunday. Still, teams still have time to get home. Because North Wilkesboro's close to Charlotte. I mean, they were still sleeping in their own bed this week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, North Wilkesboro is very close to Charlotte. I thought I had the time off my head, but I don't. Yeah, I like that. That's a really good take. Really good idea. Maybe you should just run NASCAR. Let's bowl for what is Steve Phelps now? Chairman or dictator, whatever. Bowl for NASCAR dictator.
Dictator's a good one.
I want Bull to be my NASCAR dictator. It'd be a beautiful NASCAR. Just make me like the flagship driver of the sport, please, and thank you. Let's go ahead and move.
We know it's not going to be SVG, so.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I thought you were going to say Joey. Let's go ahead and move along to our power rankings here. We've got quite the start to this show, so I'll keep it nice and quick here. I do have Joey Logano at number 5. I have to be unbiased. He had a great race and led a lot, and he's definitely showed a lot of speed over these past couple of weeks, so I got to put him in my top 5. That's enough said. Chase Elliott is at my number 4 spot, just doing Chase Elliott things, existing, and I think got another top 5 today, so showing speed at tracks that he's shown speed at, I credit that, and I think I had him at 5 last week, so Blaney, I'm going to put at 3rd. Like Josh says, I feel like he is a sleeping giant. I think he could go off this summer at any given week, and he had another solid race in North Wilkesboro to prove that. Let's win that Coke 600. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, Blaney. Let's break through right here. First race on Prime. Let's do it. And then at number 2, I got Christopher Bell getting that win at the All-Star race. Bull said it last week. That can really flip the script on a season or two. And I think it's not really going to flip any script, but it could get Bell back on the path we saw him to start the year. So I got him at number 2 with that win. And then Kyle Larson at number 1. Really no explanation needed. He had a bad race in the All-Star race, but just the couple weeks he had before that keeps him up there for me. Josh, you want to go?
Sure. Last I checked, the All-Star race doesn't matter. Let me reemphasize that again. It doesn't matter. So anything that happened this weekend doesn't affect my power rankings. So as a result, my power rankings are what they should have been last week. Number 5 is Ryan Blaney, as Colton said best. Sleeping Giant. I do believe he's going to come out and win one of these, I'll say, first 3 races. And that's that. Number 4, I am going to go William Byron. Needs to come out with a win. Obviously, won Daytona, but hasn't won a race since. Has 5 top 5s on the year. Still pretty darn good. Number 3, Denny Hamlin. Not going to pick him to be a Final Four guy. Not going to pick him to win a championship. Sorry, Bull. Until he does it, won't believe it. Number 2, Christopher Bell. He stays behind number 1, Kyle Larson. Last time I saw a race that mattered, Kyle Larson was dominating. I'm going Kyle Larson.
Josh's beef with the All-Star race is generational. Bull, what's your power rankings?
So, I got to keep mine. My logic's kind of the same as Josh's. Mine did not change very much. I only swapped 2 drivers. So at my number 5 spot is Denny Hamlin this week. And I'm starting to wave the flag on Hamlin. That's 3 mechanical issues in a row, 3 weeks with mechanical issues in a row. Blew the engine at Texas. Blew the engine at Texas, had the clutch issue at Kansas, and then had all kinds of issues this week at North Wilkesboro. So I got him at 5. William Byron at number 4. Just been consistent. He's got the win this year. Just been consistent. He's not had race winning speed, but he's had top 5 speed all year. Ryan Blaney at 3. As you all said, sleeping giant. He's had bad luck, but before the luck's been bad, he's had the fastest car. Number 2, Christopher Bell, and my NASCAR champion this year. He's going to win the playoffs. The last 3 out of the last 4 drivers to win the All-Star race has went on to win the championship. And at number 1,
I wonder who the outlier
Kyle
was.
Larson.
Kyle Larson across the board. Shocker, shocker. And we're going to the Coke 600 where he's doing double duty. Maybe he'll make it.
Can I speak on that real fast?
By all means.
He's damaged now 2 cars in Indy. I get it. It's a goal of his to be able to do it. People have damaged plenty of cars. It's racing. But personally, if I'm Hendricks, I'm like, we're done after this year. This is your one last chance. You're not getting to do this again. Because what if one of these accidents were severe? And not only that, if you're NASCAR, I'm stepping in. And I get you want the eyes because it is the Indy 500. And if he were to pull off the miracle and win the damn thing, it'd be historic.
Absolutely.
But what happens if he gets hurt? We will behind the scenes penalize Chase Elliott for going out and having a life and snowboarding and getting hurt. What's in honest truth? What is the difference?
There's not.
Nothing to say. What's the difference there? I would even argue like Chase Elliott just having a recreational hobby of snowboarding is not nearly as damning as Larson going and racing in a completely different sport. But I don't know if I can necessarily penalize either one though. Personally. No,
I'm not saying penalize him. I'm just telling Larson, like, man, you just can't do this anymore. Like, you got lucky twice. If the wreck's severe and you're out for the year, you're hurting your team. You're hurting people's careers and livelihood. Mm-hmm. This is also a guy who we're giving a second chance to, not to bring that up again, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm NASCAR, I'm not letting my best driver go out there and take a chance of getting hurt. Or even worst case scenario, he would have missed the playoffs if the same thing happened from last year to this year. Correct?
This is correct. And this is the last year of the contract that he signed. He got a 2-year deal. So this is the last year. And you mentioned Hendrick stepping in. That same podcast that me and Colton were referencing with Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch actually mentioned he had a deal done a couple of years ago to do the double, and and Gibbs stepped in and said no and wouldn't let him do it.
Yep. Joe Gibbs has been pretty known. I will say on this other side of that coin, because Joe Gibbs wasn't letting Christopher Bell run any dirt or anything like that. That was lifted this year, and you can see the difference in Bell's performance. So it's there's pros and cons to it. Like I don't think you can completely cut him off like Gibbs had been doing. But you also maybe don't let him go as hog wild as Hendrick. But you got to remember, Hendrick was the same way with his drivers as well until Larson got there. It was one of the stipulations of Larson's contract was that he would be able to run freely in sprint cars. And at that point, then Bowman could do it, and Elliott and Byron. So Larson's been kind of the renaissance of, hey, I'm running 3 races a week on top of NASCAR, and I'm doing a pretty damn good job at it. So there's pros and cons to it, but that's not to the level that Josh is talking about. I completely get his point on IndyCar being a completely different beast. But I would say this probably is the last time we'll see that.
And I think there's been a lot of wrecks this year in Indy in the practice and qualifying.
Yes.
And it's something to do. I was listening to Jeff Gluck talk about it. It's something to do with the new weight that they've got in the back for the power, one of the power adders that they've got. And it's causing, and it's the stability is different this year. So it's taken a lot of the drivers to get used to.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, especially for Kyle Larson, considering he doesn't get near as much seat time as the rest of the field. So that makes sense.
And
well,
I'm going to wrap up with this. Sorry to cut you off, Colton. We talked about Ryan Blaney about to get hot. You were saying go win the Coke 600. It should be noted that since the next gen, Charlotte is his second worst track behind Watkins Glen. But I'm calling my shot now. He won't win Nashville either, but he will win Michigan. That's my prediction. He wins in 3 weeks in Michigan.
I wish you wouldn't have told me that, Josh. Now I have to think about that for the next week. Bull, you got your guesses for us? Drivers 2 guess?
I do. It was kind of weird this week where they've started doing the Roval. A lot of the drivers don't have very many stats at Charlotte. So start with this one. First one, 16 starts, 1 win, 7 top 5s, and 10 top 10s.
16 one, starts?
16 starts.
Okay.
Second one, 16 starts, 1 win, 1 top 5, and 5 top 10s.
I feel like the first one might be Kyle Larson. But continue, sorry.
And then the last one is 6 starts, no wins, 2 top 5s, but 5 top 10s.
This is some good one. This is a good one. This is a good one you got here because you got to think.
Yeah, I got like no guesses because
I'm going Larson on the first one, and who would be somebody that started around the same time as Larson? Busher on the second one? No, he doesn't have a win there.
To be fair, I don't understand how this second guy has 16 starts.
Alex Bowman on the second one. And then, or is it not? You were going to say?
It's not. Neither one of them are right.
Oh.
So the first one, you got the Kyle part right.
Bush. No, it can't be Busch, right? It is? It's got 16?
16
Okay,
starts.
that messed up my scale because I was thinking it was around early 2010. So Kyle Busch has 16 starts there. Give me Keselowski.
It is not Keselowski.
Okay.
The second one, the one that I didn't know how he had 16 starts, is Austin Dillon. And the last one was Tyler Reddick.
Wait. Kyle Busch has 16 starts. And Austin Dillon.
That's what I don't get it. How Austin Dillon has 16 starts.
Yeah, no, that one's completely lost on me because Busch started in 2005, right? Or even and then Dillon didn't come in until 2014, 2013. No, it's 14 because he never drove in the. Yeah, that's a head scratcher there. That's a head scratcher for sure. Yeah, I would have never. I was completely off base on my. I was closer with.
It did not
you got
make
me looking
sense
up racing reference. That's where you looked. I just have to see it with my own two eyes. All right. I probably should wrap up the show though, because we've definitely gone. Oh wow, we hit 50 minutes. I was wondering when we get to a 50-minute one. This would be the one though, because of all the talking points we had at the All-Star race.
And I got one more little nugget for you, Colton.
All right, let's hear it.
Last week we talked about the 2311 lawsuit. There's one other lawsuit. There's one other lawsuit in NASCAR. The Legacy and Rick Ware lawsuit. If that gets sorted out, Corey Heim will be in the Cup Series next year with driving for Legacy.
Really? Because I was wondering what the deal was, like why they want a third car so badly. I would have figured Corey Heim. I mean, he had a great debut. Was that debut the deal sealer, you think?
I don't know if it was the debut or if it was that race, but I think it was kind of already set in motion before that.
Okay. All right. Corey Heim jumping past Xfinity into the Cup Series. Interesting indeed. Well, we know he's not going to get a ride of Joe Gibbs Racing. Thank you, Ty Gibbs. All right, then. Well, I'll stop looking at the racing reference page and go ahead and wrap up this show. We gave you a little bonus content here, a little extra than what we're the extra beyond plan that we typically give you. So thank you all for listening. Be sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button. You guys have been going crazy with that recently. We hit 300 subscribers. I meant to say this at the beginning of the episode, so if you made it this far, thanks for making it this far. But also thank you for all the support. The Brad Keselowski, What If, both of those are doing absolute numbers, especially the first one. So it's the second most viewed video on the channel. So getting close to the most viewed. So thank you all for your support. I have a ton of comments. I've got a ton of ideas for the future. And now that I got this set up, I believe me and Chenry can start production on the next one. We have what you got a hand raise?
Yeah. I want one. Out? What? Yeah. What if Joey Logano was Colton's favorite driver?
And
then how bad would his luck be?
Me going back in time to tell my kid self what he has to do to get Carl Edwards a championship. I'm sorry, little one, but it must be done. You have to become a Joey Logano. I would do it too to give Carl Edwards a championship. You know damn well I would. But thank you, Josh, for putting that thought in my head. And thank you all once again for all the support. This channel is growing very much. So we're excited to get that next What If and get it going. We're not going as big as we had originally planned. We want to get another one, kind of a shorter one. Probably the one Bulls mentioned before, I think is the one we're working on, or it's in that realm. And then we can talk about that after. But be sure to follow us on Twitter. Follow me at LFC __99. Follow Josh at JNorth1989. and Bull at Bull_81818. Thank you guys for coming on the show and working through all the lag. I think it was pretty good for most of it, but there was definitely some parts there that lagged out. So this should be the last one where we'll be in those boxes. I should be able to normally edit it from here on out. I will edit in that little clip though. So you guys don't need to hear that though. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.